Okay. This is the fourth time I'm trying to record this because it keeps running too long. And this movie, even though it was fun to look at, it was very very visually gratifying. It was not a good movie, so I'm trying to rein it in. I'm trying to not dig too much into this, and I keep hitting it like 30, 20 plus minutes on talking about it. And I know I wouldn't. You guys are going to be annoyed enough that you wasted that much time at the theater if you go see it. So I don't want to annoy you more by wasting more time here. Or if you're on the fence about seeing it, then you'll get what you need quickly from here, and you can make your decision from there. So hopefully we're going to rein this in this time. We'll start with this. This article here from Yahoo Looper: Why Tron Ares bombed to the box office. So yes, it bombed. It's going to be a big money loser here. So 33.5 million domestic opening weekend against a $108 million budget. Not good. Jared Leto, you messed up, buddy. You are going to have to send a gift basket to Disney if you talk them into this. Yeah, this was not a good one for you guys. So Jared Leto, he's been in a couple movies that have made some money, but in the movies that have made money, he has not had a large role. He has been either a background character or just a very small supporting role. So one movie, he even had a bunch of his stuff cut because he was just a insane person to deal with on set. And just, I don't know, something went wrong during the Suicide Squad movie, and he just went off his rocker and was just a terror to deal with and just didn't do a good job. So they cut him down really bad, from what I understand. They cut they cut him out of that movie in the final product a lot. So anyway, so Jared Leto's terrible box office track record. Yes, as we're talking about, he is terrible when he's a leading man, and he can make money sometimes when he's a side character. So let's see here, especially the aftermath of his much lambasted movies like Morbius. So the Morbius was a terrible movie. I saw it. I was kind of looking forward to it. I'd fallen for the marketing on that one a little bit. I gave that one a chance, and it was not rewarded. He did a terrible job in that. Really bad movie. The best thing to come from that was the Morbius 2, it's Morbin time meme. So people started saying that their favorite part of the movie was it's an old Power Rangers reference, that their favorite part was when he said it's Morbin time and then turned into a vampire, which did not happen. But it became a meme and it took off, and even Jared Leto reacted to it, and he made a post about it, which was very funny. So I'm going to show that real quick. So first of all, I don't know what my guy here is wearing. He looks just almost looks like a homeless person. I don't know, but anyway.
What are you reading?
Nothing really. Just
Morbius 2, it's Morbin time. So he even got a fake script just to lean into it. And the funny part is that Sony, for some reason, thought the meme meant that there was some cult following to this, and they ended up putting it back in theaters, and it lost even more money. So kind of funny. But anyway, back to this movie bombing. So anyway, yeah, that's a big ask to put him on a movie with as the lead for a movie with $180 million budget. So next thing, Tron's never been that popular. Very true. So Tron is, I mean, your target audience is going to be male nerds. Chances are older male nerds. So funny story about this. I know that it is not easy for normies to digest. This is not for everybody. I mean, I've made a bet before with this as the punishment, and that was, that was an attack on somebody. Me putting this as the stake for a bet if I won, that they had to watch this movie, and I forget what they asked for, but I'm sure it was a pretty big ask also, because I know how painful this is for somebody who is not into stuff like this to watch the original 1982 Tron. So yes, this movie is definitely not for everybody. This was intended as a punishment when I made that bet. So let's see here. So let's see. Best possible outcome of Disney returning to Tron would have seen limited box office returns, demonstrating the saga's definitive ceiling for accessibility. Tron Ares outright flopping only solidified how the franchise isn't beloved by mainstream audiences, despite what some internet dwellers would say. So if they wanted to make any money, they had to be very, very deliberate with who they marketed this to and who they wrote it for. And they didn't do that. And we're going to take a look at one other thing down here, which is actually interesting coming from that talking point. So they said this movie skewed way too male. I mean, it's like mind blowing to hear that. That's a lie. That's a lie. This movie, you have Ares, who is male. Jared Leto obviously is male, and he is the like main security program. He is the master control program in the grid, and then every other soldier in there is a woman. I think there might be one or two other men, but they're all women. Athena is his like second in command. She eventually takes over when Ares decides he has feelings and he wants to be real and finds out about the permanence code. So then Athena takes over and she's leading a group of women programs that are soldiers to come and try and hunt down Eve Kim, who is our second lead here. But let's take a look at this here. In 2010, the year Tron Legacy hit multiplexes, Walt Disney dropped a slew of big blockbusters aimed at young boys. The results were the infamous box office bombs like Prince of Persia: Sands of Time and Sorcerer's Apprentice. That only became go-to examples of studios losing boatloads of money. Subsequent early 2010s Disney temples like John Carter and The Lone Ranger similarly floundered in their efforts to be boy blockbusters. So quick side quest here. John Carter, and I stopped to talk about this in every single one of my videos so far because John Carter is a special case. I watched John Carter years after it was in theaters, and I thought it was very good. It was a very good movie. I loved it. And then I was thinking back about the marketing for it, and I didn't know what it was. I had no idea what it was about. It seemed strange, just what it looked like. It didn't seem cohesive to me by what they were giving me in the preview and how the story was explained. And it was just a bad job of the marketing team. If they would have marketed that better, I think John Carter would have done well. So anyway, like I said, side mission, we're not talking about that, but it does go against what they're saying about those movies. John Carter would have done better if it was marketed properly. But Disney finding immense success in the same time period with Tangled and Frozen reinforced an inescapable truth. Hollywood ignores women moviegoers at its own peril. So that's not true. Hollywood targets everything toward women now. And I think that is why Hollywood is actually failing right now, because they are getting IPs, franchises, intellectual property that are not, their target demographic is not women, and they're force feeding it. Women characters, women leads. I hate to use this, but I have to. Girl bosses. They're putting girl bosses in everything, and it's turning off audiences. There's a lot of situations where even women don't want those things. So a movie like this, I'd be curious to see to understand what their measuring criteria was for saying it is skewing too male. Because well, let me show you an example here. So I'm going to show you the disc fight from the original Tron. So let me bring this up here. So this is like it's like a digital gladiator arena, and you can see these are all programs here. This movie is targeted toward men who are nerds, and all men like gladiator arenas.
That's Tron. He fights for the users.
Tron.
And there's Tron. So that's another thing that we're going to talk about here. There's Tron. Tron is not in Tron Ares, and it's weird. It's weird. His name is on it, but he's not in it. We're going to talk more about that. But anyway, the point is, these are all, this is a gladiator arena full of men fighting each other. And now we have a movie full of, not only is it all female soldiers aside from Ares, we have Eve Kim and her sister are the lead executives of NCOM, and they're like the good company here. You have Evan Peters, who is the chief of Dillinger Corp, and his mother handed him the keys to the castle, but she's still kind of leaning on him, pulling the strings here. She actually would have been better as the lead than he would have, I think. She was played by Gillian Anderson, who I hadn't seen in a while, and I kind of missed her from her X-Files days. I would have loved to see her as the lead of that company, but they almost made her play just like a puppet master with him, and just belittling him the whole time. So, diminishing another male character with a female, and all the women are in charge. Another funny thing was that Eve Kim, the head of NCOM, she goes up to some mountain retreat really far away from civilization that her sister was working at, and they had a backup of Kevin Flynn's system up there because they were looking for this permanence code, and that's what everybody wants. And she finds it, and then there's this big celebration. Oh, I did it! I did it! I finally achieved what me and my sister's goal was, and all she was find it. Flynn had it on his server the whole time. Flynn created it. So that was kind of funny. They're just really pushing that girl power message, which was a little silly, and it didn't help the story. And another thing, there's one of the coolest parts of the movie is there's like a motorcycle chase scene, and that's because Ares and Athena come in from the Dillinger side. They're brought into the real world, and they are on their light cycles, which is cool. The light cycles look good. But Eve Kim is also on her motorcycle, which was a Sam Flynn thing. Sam Flynn was in charge of NCOM. He's Kevin Flynn's son. And in the beginning of the movie, they just say that he stepped away, and then Eve Kim and her sister took over, and Eve Kim also rides a motorcycle, just like Sam Flynn, which was a little strange. They just almost took her out of the seat and took him out of the seat, put her in, and just had her take over everything he did, down to personality and everything. Riding motorcycles, so that was strange. But anyway, I don't know what their measuring criteria is here. This demographic has driven many of the biggest box office hits through history, like Titanic and Barbie. Those movies are the target audience is women, and they lean into that. And women saw those movies multiple times, and they would drag their significant others along. That's why those movies did that. Disney could have easily done that with Star Wars and Marvel, but they didn't. They instead of making a movie and leaning into the audience that had made those IPs so big, and the males and younger nerds, and then relying on them to bring their significant others, they decided to flip-flop all the characters, make the women overpowered, and put them in charge of everything, and hope that would bring the female moviegoers, and women didn't show up, and then the men stopped coming. So I don't know. I mean, the way I've heard this related and that most resonated with me is the best examples were Captain America. So Captain America is he's trying to sign up for the military, and he is too small and too sickly to be admitted. Eventually he gets a chance, and he gets in, and he ends up jumping on a grenade to save his whole platoon. And when that is noticed, he is chosen to receive a gift that will help him help and save other people on a larger scale with the super soldier serum, and he becomes Captain America, and he does just that. So he builds up from a man who wants to help, and he wants to be included, and he wants to do his part. And that effort finally gets rewarded because he was willing to do it even without special powers, and that is amplified when he receives his gift, and he knows it's a gift. The flip side of that, so that's the hero's journey, and the flip side of that is referred to as the hero's journey, and that seems to be what we're getting a lot from Disney and in their Marvel and Star Wars stuff, and a lot of movies actually, to be honest with you. So we have Captain Marvel. So she is super powered, and she goes through her journey, and she learns that she's been good enough all along, and it's always been men holding her back. Once she finally realized it's men holding her back, she could take the power dampener out of her neck, and then she can be her full powerful self, which she always was, and without men lying to her and telling her she wasn't good enough. Steals a man's motorcycle along the way, and is just a generally unlikable person. They think being unlikable is power for some reason. That's how it's portrayed. And I did a video about this a while back too, talking about how this may just have something to do with colleges too. Admissions have changed. The graduation requirements have gone down, and you're just getting people who don't know how to tell stories now that are getting these jobs coming out of school, and instead of being in other careers that are probably more suited for them. So I don't know, but skewing way too male, definitely not the case when you look at when you see this movie and you look at the cast and what you see on screen and who's doing what, not the case. But anyway, So back to Bruce Boxleitner, who played Tron, played the lead role of Tron and Alan Bradley in the original 1982 film Tron. Boxleitner has confirmed that he is not in the upcoming film Tron. Ares is and has expressed disappointment with being excluded. So, I mean, that's sad to hear. He expressed disappointment. Not only, he didn't just say that he wasn't in it. He said he was disappointed that they didn't even call him. I mean, someone like that, man, they probably could have bought that guy a cup of coffee and he would have came out and read lines for a day, and they didn't do it. A little disrespectful to the guy that his name is on the box. So I don't know. Instead, we get Jared Leto, who gets handed a $180 million movie, and this is his resume: Haunted Mansion, Morbius, Justice League. So that Justice League made money, and Suicide Squad made money, but he was cut out of Suicide Squad a ton. Justice League, he had a very small part in there. They really handed him the keys to the castle without much resume behind him. I don't know. Our co-lead, Greta Lee. So you go down to IMDb, known for. This usually gives their the things that they are most known for. Obviously, known their strongest roles, I guess. Past Lives, St. Vincent's Sisters, and then Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. She was interesting person number 2 voice. So she didn't have a name. Interesting person number 2. She wasn't interesting person number 1. She was number 2. And we attach her as the co-lead in this. I mean, not particularly attractive, very androgynous, which is kind of a Disney thing. I mean, I feel like if you put somebody more attractive in this, with some more action chops, Haley Steinfeld or even Ella Purnell, they both got a little bit of action and they're much more pleasant to look at. And I know they're not cardboard when they're on screen like Greta Lee was. Probably would have helped a little bit, even though the biggest flaw was the story. I don't know. So Tron, I mean, I'm not going to break down the story too much. The story didn't make any sense. It cut the knees off Tron Legacy. Sam Flynn, Kevin Flynn's son, and Kawara, another digital being who was able to get out of the grid, who didn't have the weird 29-minute timer like everybody else. They show a couple pictures of them at the end, Polaroids, but otherwise they're not in the movie. You get Ares eventually gets the permanence code from Jeff Bridges, who's plays the role like the dude, not like Kevin Flynn. He plays like the dude from The Big Lebowski, which he's like I said, he's elderly. We'll let him slide for that. I love that character too, so I'm fine with it. But he gets out. Jared Leto kind of helps shut down the onslaught of Athena and her female soldiers once they take down the Dillinger grid, and they're not able to keep generating themselves and coming out. Ares eventually goes down to Mexico for some reason and sends a postcard up to Eve Kim, congratulating her on. They just don't show you anything or give you any background. They just kind of fast forward. Yeah, congrats on saving the world. Apparently, she's making food and medicine for places in the world who don't get those things as easily, I guess. Switching from being a video game company to that, okay, all right. I don't know. It seems just like a very amateurish script from somebody who went to college for production and writing, who probably shouldn't have been there, should probably be doing something else. But I don't know. They set it up for a sequel with Dillinger, Evan Peters' character. He is about to get arrested, so he digitizes himself and he's in his own grid. And when he touches his data disk, he gets the Sark armor that kind of starts covering him, just like his grandfather's program did when in the original 1982 movie. So, but we'll never see where that goes because they will not get another Tron movie. That will never get made. So yeah, Disney doing what Disney does. They killed this franchise. I guess it's a little less sad because this is their own IP. It's not like they destroying the Star Wars IP and destroying the Marvel IP. Those were a little more sad because they purchased those from other groups who'd done beautiful things with them. But yeah, this is their own. So if they want to set themselves on fire, I guess they're welcome to do that. But anyway, we'll leave that right there. Hopefully our next one will be a little more positive. But yeah, this one, wait for Disney Plus. Don't go see it. There is some cool theater merchandise. Don't buy it new. If you go back in a few weeks to the theater, you'll see that stuff marked down because no one's going to go to see this movie, so no one's going to be there to buy it. So you'll, instead of paying the $39 for the light cycle popcorn container and the light cycle drink cup, probably get them for like $10 or something. So, but those were actually cool. Just don't pay full price. So, all right, you guys have a good one. Like I said, Disney Plus. We'll see you next time.